Okay, so for 5-8, inequalities in two triangles, it's just one concept. It's a really easy day today. It's the hinge theorem. So think about the hinge of a door and how it opens the door, and the gap between the door and the door frame gets bigger the bigger the angle is that the door is open. So that's where we get this hinge theorem from. If two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another triangle, so maybe think about doors that are congruent in your household, or at school, the two different door, like each room has the same door length and door frame. And then the angles aren't congruent. So do not think about this as like side angle side, because these angles are just colored in. It's not trying to say that they're congruent. So please don't think that they are congruent. It's just identifying the colored angle. So what this is saying is if this angle is bigger, this door is open wider at a bigger angle, then the distance right here is going to be longer than this door that's the exact same length but opened at a smaller angle. So if the angle is bigger, the opening's bigger. If the angle is smaller, the opening's smaller. It's really that simple, and it works backwards too. So if this length is smaller than this length, then this angle that's opposite of it, remember opposite, it's going across from, then this angle is going to be bigger. Okay, so that's how this works. When you're solving problems with it, like I said, it's just showing that it'll either ask you to identify a congruent statement, or not a congruent statement, sorry, just identifying statements that are true. So we have some things that are congruent here. We got two congruent sides, and then non-congruent angles. Let's see if I can get the angle on this. And then non-congruent angles. So this angle is 90, this angle is 70. So which opening is going to be bigger? Well, SK, because 90 is greater than 70. So SK will be bigger than YU. Okay, and so we can see that down here, SK bigger than YU. Okay, the other type of problem that we would solve here is where we actually have some other things involved, such as on this one. Okay, so we're wanting to use the hinge theorem. We look at this, this is the shared side, so that's the reflexive property, so that's one side that's congruent, and then we have these two sides being congruent. So now very clearly we can see that 15 is greater than 10, right? So based off that information, because 15 is greater than 10, I know that this angle, 60 degrees, is going to be greater, okay, because it's across from the 15, it's going to be greater than this 5x minus 20. So because that is greater than, I can now solve this problem, and I know that based off the hinge theorem. Okay, so I can say hinge. That's how I know how to solve this problem. Okay, and then I'm just solving for x. I add 20 on both sides. We get 80 is greater than 5x. Divide by 5. 80 divided by 5 is 16. So x must be less than 16. This is all it's asking for. Is what's less than. But also we can think about, can an angle ever be 0 degrees in a triangle? No. So we know that not only is x going to be less than 16, but we could say this angle, 5x minus 20, also must be greater than 0, right? So this is how we're going to get the lower end. So we add 20 to both sides. We have 5x is greater than 20. Divide by 5. We have x must be greater than 4. So the way I would write my answer here is x must be greater than 4, but less than 16. These are all the possible values for x. Now notice, we're not getting an exact value of x. It's not really possible here. We don't know what this angle equals, so we can't get an exact number for x. But what we can do is get a range of possibilities for what x is, which is very, very important. So that's how we solve problems using the hinge theorem. Remember, we're working with inequalities, greater than, less than, all of those good things. So that is what 5-8 inequalities in two triangles is all about.